I am live. Am I live? Let me know. Do you all see me? Can you hear me? Is everything all good? I'm going to wait before I begin. Here we go. Okay. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? I'm looking down in the chat and I'm going to double check my phone because sometimes there's a delay. Okay, hold on a second. I think I'm live. Am I live? I'm so awkward, you all. Um, okay. So I am so happy that you all are joining me today, Sunday, November 26th. You know, I I've been talking a lot about sacred rage. I've been having so much rage lately. And I'm trying my best to transmute it, to understand how to use it in a way that is helpful to the world, to us all. So, when I read about this whole thing with Diddy and Cassie, I felt that rage and I was like, I got to get on and I have to talk to my subscribers, my people, my members, because I was actually just looking last night at my analytics and I saw that the majority of you are 18 to 24, and then the next block up. So I have a lot of young people here, and I feel so blessed that you all, give me your time and love and attention. And um, I want to protect you all as well. And I think as tragic and awful as the situation is, I know from what I've read from Cassie, I think that she wants this dialogue to happen. She wants there to be discussion around this and education around this. So that's what I plan on doing today and taking any questions from you regarding this. And I will be doing another live soon, very soon, that where we can talk about a lot of other things though too, like some Q&A. So, I first of all, before we begin, I got to get some things out of the way. I have to let you know that I will be avoiding certain words so that this is not taken down. I want to let you all know that um, I really want you to take care of yourselves. And if this information, which it's going to get really, really, really dark, if any of this information is too much for you, then do not stay on if it'll cause you distress. I really, really, really want you to think about your mental health and take care of yourself. So please do that. I also want to give a big shout out to my friend and fellow YouTuber, attorney Melanie Little. She has so graciously offered to moderate in the chat. I mean, moderate, I don't know if that's the right word, but she's going to be in the chat. She's done this many times. That's the majority of her YouTube channel, and I really really wanted to try this. So thank you, Melanie. Please like and subscribe to her channel as well if you haven't yet. She's got some really great content on a lot of newsworthy things. And let me reverse back. Another reason why I wanted to do this is because the highest viewed videos on my channel are Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda by Taylor and Lana Del Rey's A&W. So what are the themes between those? I think you all, if you are diehard Taylor and Lana fans, you know what I'm talking about. And with those in those videos, I do talk a lot about injustices and pressures that, especially in the music industry, things people often look the other way. In this situation with Diddy and Cassie, that for sure was going on. Um, I will, I really, really, really want to go into all of this so that you all understand why this happened or how this could happen, because online, I'm getting infuriated that people are saying, "Well, she could have left him a long time ago. Was it really that bad? All she wants is money," because it's a civil case. That is, you know, uh, it makes me very, very angry. So, I wanna dispel any of those myths and explain the psychological process behind, you know, all of those questions or things that are used to discredit her. Now, what I wanna do first is go through some of the highlighted points of what she has disclosed in, the civil suit that she brought that was settled within 24 hours. So, it's dark, you all. It's really bad. But when I was hearing it and going through it, I was also hearing just like how this just is a complete perfect description of a relationship that shows all of the patterns of coercive control. And that is one that I think doesn't always get as much attention because it's not, while there was some physical A throughout this, um, the overt physical things are often the only thing that people really classify as being, how do I say this? Like, the only thing that sometimes people really care about when they're not understanding that coercive control is used to instill that fear of violence, fear of uh, awful things happening. So it's pretty um it's complex. And all right, let's go ahead and start this. So the first thing that I when I heard about this was the age. Diddy signed oh, wait, let me do another disclaimer. Any of the things that I'm saying here right now are public knowledge, and from what I've read from the report, it is my opinion. I will say these things are alleged. I'll say alleged, just because I don't wanna be getting like, any lawsuit coming my way. So, I just wanna say that first of all. Okay, so she's 19 years old. She was signed by Diddy, who was 37 at the time, in a long-term relationship with a woman named Kim Porter, who has later has recently passed away from just they don't know. It's very under weird, questionable circumstances. Um, but that's besides the point. We'll maybe get to that later. But so she's 19 years old. She is signed by him, and she's in a relationship with somebody else, though. And it begins where he is I'm gonna look at my notes because I took notes. So 2005, she's 19, that he's 37, and already that is setting the stage. 18-year age difference, the power dynamic there. He is the person that holds the control to her dreams coming true. And over the course of the 10-year relationship that they had, it was often used as a tool to manipulate and um, to control her. Say, well, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then I'm going to, you know, um, not let your single come out. So he forced himself on her initially in the bathroom on her 21st birthday. And I guess she had said that she left the room crying, and then he asked to take her out, and she was afraid to say no. And I know that it sounds simple to be like, well, you could just say no. She was afraid to say no because this is the man that holds her career in his hands. So she went out with him. He gave her a blue pill, and it turned out to later be allegedly ecstasy. And it was the first time she's ever been high in that way. And yeah, he really introduced her to this drug-filled lifestyle. And what she's saying, why she's coming forward with this is because, I mean, she's married now with 2 kids, but she is struggling with memory loss, with her mental health, with the I almost said it, with the trauma that she suffered, and she's needed medical services that she can't. I mean, it's expensive. It's very expensive. So she wants some type of payment for 10 years of her life being taken away. And when you're 19 and you get pulled into that, you really have a lot that's being taken away from you. So then he you slowly then started to set up where he was, we call it like the white knight syndrome, is when there's somebody who comes in and they present themselves as like, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to save you. If you red flag, if somebody wants to save you, that's a problem. And I think a lot of people judge people in circumstances where they're given a lot of money or things like that, and it's like, well, you've got all this money. Well, as a young person in her early 20s, to have be given an apartment and cars and showered with all of these things, of course you're like, thank you. But he would set it up so that they were right beside his house, and he was in control of all of the things. So when you think about this white knight syndrome, it's actually a way to just start setting up the foundation to make someone feel, like super, super um, lucky, or to make them feel as if they've got to, like they're indebted to you. And it's a way to start controlling and monitoring things. So that was one of the things that I was like, oof, it's not good. Then he would do little things like wanting her to carry his firearm in her purse. And you might be like, okay, what's the big deal about that? Well, the big deal about that is that it's to instill fear. Like, I have a gun. I can use it at any time. I can use it anytime on you. Um, so let me go back about the white knight syndrome, though. That is about like paying somebody's bills, is the goal is to keep the victim reliant financially. And then, um, you know, the age where this tactic of abuse, that really does align with, like, it's fueled by narcissism, truly. It is it's one that I think a lot of people don't recognize how, gradual it is, and how young people, they are the first ones to be used in this way. So the 18 to 25, I think it is 18 to 29 are thought to be at the highest risk. And one of the traits associated with, maybe being linked with somebody who can manipulate and oppress you is having emotional or financial dependence. So she became financially dependent on him for sure. Seamus, thank you. I just saw that. Thank you. Okay. um, so the next part that becomes more and is disturbing is where he continues with the drugs to basically numb her and also to have more control over her. And he started doing something allegedly that's called, he would call it a F off. And that would be days, potentially days of I'm trying not to use the words. So basically, you know how like sometimes when you're driving, there's lots of, so she was having to go and get, they hired a male escort, and then at other times multiple ones, that he would require them to wear some type of mask or masquerade mask, some type of mask. And he would videotape her being, R essayed. And I believe he would do things to himself too because he found it pleasurable, but also to use that against her, the blackmail. And it's really, really disturbing that he would use her in this way, and I do believe a lot of people have said that even 50 Cent has said that he received pictures of her. So they were distributed to elites, people in the music industry and beyond. So it makes me question like how deep this really went and how disturbing it really was. Thank you for the continual trigger warning to you all. Um, then he would sometimes physically a assault. He would use some against her. And this is also another form of control. So he would often, they said, kick her, stomp her, beat her. All of these things would happen sometimes in front of these male escorts as well, sometimes in front of her assistants, in front of his assistants, his team. They would never stop it. They would never tell him what he was doing was wrong. I mean, okay, I just caught a chat where Melanie is asking, "Do you think he sold them?" I think that he probably sold it. I think that it's something really sick going on. Um, so there are 4 typical patterns when it comes to coercive control. The first one is limiting your autonomy, which is, making them reliant financially or emotionally. The second one is use of technology, usually to track. He began doing that, tracking her computer, um, and a lot of times people will use this and say, "Oh, I'm just taking care of you. It's because I care about you so much because I want to protect our house." No, that's not what is going on. It's about control. The third thing is intimacy and sex used as control. So that can be a lot of times people will think of that overtly, like what you can and cannot wear, which I'm sure that he did. But it can be like things that happen in the bedroom, like pushing the boundaries of things, violating you in ways that you and doing things that you don't want to do. And she had to take, I mean, it sounds like I think there was listed ketamine, MDMA, um, many other ones. I'm blanking on it right now that she was given to perform these things. And sometimes they would go at days at a time. It also was noted that when he would beat her and she didn't look, when the bruises would show and the scarring and things on her face, he would send her away to Hawaii to recover for like 3 weeks and keep her in a hotel room and not let her leave. Multiple times she tried to. Okay, the fourth one of the 4 is monitoring a partner's health and body. So a lot of times we'll think about this as tactics, of course, some control that don't require immediate medical intervention, like that usually happens. So it makes it difficult to track. But it can be comments like, maybe you shouldn't eat that, or and then whenever it's like this reinforcement will happen, like, oh, you look good, you're losing weight. But then that is a way to make somebody start to doubt themselves and their self-image. And that's not even what she discussed. And that's just me giving an example. So for her, she started having memory loss from the beatings and from the drugs that she had an MRI, and the doctors that were used would send her her medical records, excuse me, directly to Diddy. That's what it's saying, that he got everything. He had access to everything in her life. And at one point when she was at the beginning, I think she said that he asked her what she would call her grandpa, and she said Pop Pop, and he's like, "Okay, refer to me as Pop Pop from now on." You all, that is, I mean, it's this is just like telltale signs of coercive control, narcissism, toxicity, and also to scare her into submission and to being quiet. She at one point, I think in 2011, he got into her phone or her computer and found out that she was emailing with Kid Cudi. And so it says in the lawsuit that he blew up Kid Cudi's car. And Kid Cudi has come forward and been like, "Yeah, he did. My car blew up in my driveway." I mean, let's also remember about J Lo back in the day. Like, she broke up with him right after there was a shooting when she was dating Diddy. a long time ago. Um, let's see. He also essayed in her own home. She thought that she was away from him, like finally escaped him, but then he pulled her, under the guise of something with music, like let's meet for dinner. And then when she went to her house, um, he had an essay. And so all of this, I'm trying to see if I'm sure I am blanking. And if any of you all have questions, go ahead and start sending them to me but I know that there's a lot more that I want to say about this, but I want to see. Yes, Melanie, HIPAA violation, really bad. But when people are that rich, that's what they'll do. Oh, two things that made me think of. When he um he was in a hotel and I guess threw a vase at her or beat her or something, and she went running away. He paid $50,000 to the hotel to get their video footage of what he did, because whatever it was like on a video somehow. And that's what money and power can do. You can make things go away. You can make them disappear. I mean, look at Harvey Weinstein, that whole situation for how long that it went on. It's just if you have money, you can do it. It holds a lot of power and it's sick. And um the other thing about a lot of people that are this wealthy, they will hire their own medical professionals to, work for them and do what they want and conceal things too. But it seemed as if every time she would try to escape him, he would just um bodyguards, people on his staff would fly to get her, would coerce her to try to get her to come back. He would send out teams. It's like he didn't have a choice. And then I think she said that she was at her 29th birthday party. And in the document it says, her 29th birthday party. And then he said, okay, it's time for an F off, is what he called it. And she was like, no, I don't want to go. I'm at my birthday party. And he's like, no, we have to do it right now. And even his bodyguards and people were like, you need to leave right now, and basically forced her out. And so I guess it happened lots of time. These F-offs, they would last like days at a time. And it started, she said, to occur weekly. So, and would make her look up the men that were going to do these things to her many times. And she said she would try to find phones, try to find whatever to delete it. And she would think that she could delete it the next day when she remembered everything, most of what happened. Um, and there was a time when she said that she was on a plane with him and he popped up one of the videos. Just, I guess they were getting in a little bit of a disagreement just to like show her, like, I got this. You need to be quiet. And he's, I guess, up until this point, her NDA expired after 5 or 10 years, and she was going to write a book about it and share it. And I think that he was intimidating her. This is my own opinion. I think that he was intimidating her all the way up till that Friday where she finally filed it, which Melanie might have to help me here with this. It was the last day for Survivors Act, right? Where people, it wasn't bound by just like a 10-year grace period, right? Something like that. Um, so she was able to file this civil lawsuit and he settled. And I think it was for, they're saying, I mean, nobody knows exactly, but it's close to 30 million, I believe. Um, Because she is, I mean, I guess she is needed inpatient care at times, like, she's having a very hard time remembering this. Okay. The Adult Survivors Act in New York provided for a 1-year window to file expired claims, and she did it. I bet that was so hard for her to do. Like, I bet that was, you're weighing the pros and cons because I know that she has 2 children, and, I mean, he really stole from look, I'm not gonna totally blame the parents, but I've been curious about that aspect of it. But this happened to I saw an interview, Usher, I think Diddy moved Usher in when he was 13 and exposed him to a lot of things. And I watched this interview of Usher the other day and they're like, "Would you let one of your kids do the same?" And he was like, "Absolutely not." And also think about after the Rihanna and Chris Brown, um, incident, if you all remember on the night of the Grammys, where was the place that we saw Rihanna and Chris Brown afterwards riding on, what are those called? Ski I wanna say ski boards, but that's um, jet skis. I don't know where my mind is. Um, on jet skis. It was at Diddy's mansion down in Miami because he felt like they needed to work it out. So this is a man who is not afraid or uh, doesn't bat an eye about using violence against people. Oh my gosh, Melanie, thank you. Let's see. I'm sure the terms and the amount of the settlement are under lock and key, but she deserves every penny. That's right. Thank you for that. Yes. And I starred $10. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I will let you all know if my background looks different. It is, and why I haven't been on YouTube a lot is because I am in the middle of a move. I'm moving. Um, and I will give you all a little bit more information about that at another time, but, uh, this helps. So thank you, Melanie. But yes, she deserves it. And then I saw, um, let's see, question. Do you think he also forced her to carry his firearm so she could face legal consequences if caught instead of him? Yes. Yes, didn't even think about that. Um, so let's see here. What what do you all think about this? What questions do you have for me? Do you I know that we can think that this is extreme examples, but not really. I think that a lot of us maybe have gone through things where your things start slowly and you don't really, you know, understand like where you think somebody's doing things good like that's so wonderful, like buying you gifts, and paying bills and um, wanting to protect you, but that's not actually what's going on. And the thing about coercive control and trauma bonding that come as a result of it is because it's the element that has to be there is intermittent um, reinforcement. So if somebody's awful all the time, you're probably more than likely to leave. But if there are these little moments, the glimpses of maybe what it was like in the beginning or good parts of them, it actually causes a thing that we call cognitive dissonance because you start to question your own reality because you're like, wait, this person can be really great to me, but then they could also be so awful. And then you start to question your own reality. And that's a lot of what goes on. And it's a lot that I think Lana speaks to in her work. Taylor has spoken to. It's so, so, so important. Okay. I am now going to Alex H. You have been so awesome in here. Keep coming forward. Yeah, the grooming is gradual. Oh, so gosh, yeah. Let's see. This one says, yes, I have friends who have been through this. Ugh. And I'm still really young, but I so, so understand this on a level that I really wish I didn't. I know I wish you didn't either. And I wish none of us had to, but it's really, really, really scary and sad. I mean, and I mean, he has taken his years of her life away from her. And I think that her husband now, he worked for Diddy. He was either he was a personal trainer and he's spoken out about it. But a lot of people have been afraid to speak out about what he's known to do, but this is protecting these powerful men. I mean, and there's probably women up high up too that have their stuff. Um, all right. Yeah. Okay. Question. If I'm in a similar dynamic and have very little resources, not allowed to work, he's wealthy, etc., how the hell do you even begin to get out? I've been in this since I was 16 and I'm 32 now. 16. I'm sending you so much love, first of all. And thank you for sharing and being brave enough to. This is the this is what's really scary. I have a lot of questions for you. Um, Usually there's a lot of isolation too from your family and friends. I wonder if you have had to go through that. I'm wondering, it's getting support in the way that you can. You have to hide a lot. There are different avenues you can take. Like there's the website, My Sister's Place, which is very helpful. And they have like a thing on the screen where you can just like touch it immediately and you are taken away from the page just in case somebody is standing behind you and can see it. They are really wonderful because they can provide legal services to you. They are also able to help with first month's rent. They can help with furniture. If you're in the home and you want the keys changed, the locks changed, you can do that. I'm also wondering if you're married because there are some things that you could do if the person would leave the house and you could change the locks potentially. Um, Thank you for sharing that, Melanie. The link is below. My Sister's Place is very wonderful, and it will give you a lot of resources, free counseling, to help you start to make your way out. When you think about the things that you've acquired, like your resource, like the things that if the person's really wealthy and they've given you bags or things, maybe you have a friend who could start storing those and selling them. Find a way to open up a bank account on the side, start putting some money in there. Um, Try to get counseling if you can. Start there, and you should be able to get guidance from there with how to move out of this. But you can get out. It took Cassie like a long time, and she made many tries. And aw, thank you so much, Rose Elliott. Make me cry. Thank you. Um, if you have more questions, go to bag. Somebody just mentioned. Yes, I feel you may have. Okay, I have always. Um, what is really hard is because sometimes you don't know when something's going to occur that you can actually put your foot down on and that the police will take notice of. Have a bag ready, a go-to bag that has passports, birth certificate, have clothing, um, a few things to just get you through. And then you can go to a place like My Sister's Place and you can get housing and people will protect you. And honestly, it also doesn't matter how much money you have. You can still utilize these services, but I know that you're saying that you don't have as much. Um, you I would say I mean, and I'll go into this another time, but like getting out and if you are in any danger to call the authorities. That doesn't always justice is not always served in that way. Um, some people aren't comfortable with that, and I respect that too. Um, what if the perpetrator finds the bag? Um, have a reason. What's really hard is that you're playing psychological chess. You've got to think about all of these things ahead of time. Having places where you can store things for sure. Um, if you contact My Sister's Place, they can create somebody mentioned right here. You can create a safety plan with them. And this can take this person I'm going to share this. It can take time, but you can get out. It took me 2 years and 7 tries. So glad you got out. It does take lots, and that is something that I think Cassie really showed is how many times she tried to get away and was pulled back in lots of different ways. So, it's be patient if you can make this happen. You can make this happen. It's so scary. It's so upsetting. Okay. Wow. Thank you, Rose. That's means a lot. I just gotta say it again and put it up on the screen. You all, I'm just figuring out how I put these questions up. Okay. The isolation is major, though, keeping you away from other people. Okay. Oh, thank you, Melanie. This is great community. Yes, to support us all. And unfortunately, when I put on YouTube like some of the words of what is really going on, it's a problem. But these resources that are in this chat, I think will very much help you all. Um, okay. Any other questions, feelings, emotions, things that are coming up for you now? And I apologize if I missed some of them while I was talking. Let me go back a bit. Seamus, thank you very much. Okay, let's see here. I've been in a similar situation, but I'm out now. Should I try to do anything legal about it or should I just try to move on? I feel like I wouldn't be believed. Right? Uh I talk about this a bit in the Lana video, the A&W, where um it is really, really, really your decision and ultimately like you have to work with someone to figure out and weigh the pros and cons of this because if it leads to something a trial of some kind like I want your mental health to be number 1 and not to suffer more like if it will be more um traumatic to relive these things, then some people choose not to, and I respect that completely. On the other hand, uh, if that's not so much of your concern, absolutely. Um, it's it really is up to you and what you're comfortable with, but nobody should suffer the type of treatment and abuse that um, that you have gone through, that Cassie has gone through, that so many have gone through. And it really has to do with, your safety though as well. I mm, it really is something that you have to work through with a therapist of all the details and all of the different things that could come about with it. I also think about what Cassie said that, you know, there's a whole bunch of people protecting him. And she knows other women that'll likely I mean, the other thing that's disturbing here, you all, allegedly, I will say, Kim Porter, they never were married, but when he was pursuing Cassie, he was with Kim Porter. She's the mother to his twin baby girls, I believe. And she mysteriously died not too long ago. And there is a rumor going around that Diddy poisoned her. She did die of this weird pneumonia. um, in her home. People said that they saw her the day before. It's very, very suspicious. And there are some things that where Kim tried to at one point warn Cassie. And if you look at the two of them, it's like Cassie looks like a younger version of Kim Porter. And it is all just why I'm bringing this up is like how scary it is. The risks of your safety, that needs to be number one. And I respect the legal system, but sometimes they don't protect victims. It depends on the state. I don't know if Melanie, you want to add anything to that? I feel like Melanie probably could give better advice when it comes to this, but I think that working with a therapist and creating a plan to figure out what would serve you if you want to pursue legal charges. Mhm. I don't know what to do. People close to me know about it, but they justify it, and I find that insane, but it does discourage me a lot about taking legal action. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's really, really, really tough. And look, you're gonna have people, um, around you, 15 and 24. Mhm, 15 and 24, and people are justifying it. Give me a break. It's disgusting. I mean, you were a child, you're underage, it's statutory rape, right? Yeah. Okay, Melanie is saying on the individual situation, depends on your situation, but whether it's criminal or civil. Okay, let's see here. Legal action is a personal decision not to buy my advocate because my ex was suing people and had way more money. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's the reality of a lot of this situation is that, you know, um, power and the money, you know, it takes a lot. Okay. I am so glad that my channel is a place where you can feel safe. Yes, Melanie, flying monkeys, they call them. Flying monkeys are people that protect uh, narcissists, but also people that are abusive. And that's those people saying that those are the people that support the abuser and make everybody else feel like they're crazy. I know, unfortunately, to some degree. Okay. So this is a lot, and I want to keep on talking about this and seeing the way that the public reacts to it because it has at first I was just getting so upset by how they were saying that she was greedy and then they were saying why would she do it on the last day? I'm like, well, he probably has been like tormenting her up till that point. And then also how quickly they came to a settlement and people were upset because they were like, if this wasn't about money, then why wouldn't you fight? And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Nobody can make that decision. Just like we've been talking about here. Nobody can make that decision for somebody. You could, I mean, maybe she needs the money so that she can pay for her own mental health services, outpatient services. Um, Someone saying, let's see. We saw the same thing happen to Kiki Palmer. She recently had a restraining order granted against her ex, and camera surveillance showed she had been attacked by him. I didn't know about this. Is this the same boyfriend I think that was making comments about she was wearing like something sexy out with her girlfriends and he was like, you need to go put on your clothes. He was making comments. I saw something briefly about that, but I didn't know that there was a video where he did um, when she did get attacked. Wow. It's so messed up. Okay. What are the red flags young people should look for to not get involved in these types of relationships? If someone is pursuing you and they are um, more than half your age, or wait, what's the saying? Like if they are like double your age, I mean, if there's a huge age gap, you are someone that they feel they can that is impressionable, somebody that they can groom, somebody that won't fight back, somebody who's in power, a lower power position so that you would benefit more from them financially. So the age, I don't always look, I know that I hurt some people's feelings about some of the eye rolls I do about Lana and the older men back in her older videos that I didn't watch, that I was just watching for the first time. I know that some people were upset about it. They're like, I'm with somebody who's older. We have a really great relationship. Like there can be great relationships. I'm not saying that they can't be, but I think that, it is a red flag too. Like, let's just be aware of that. If someone is starting to show interest in needing your password, if they're wanting to know what your plans are, if they start to bad talk your friends or your family and tell you not to spend time with them, those are some all very big red flags that they're slowly, trying to isolate you. If they become physically abusive in any way, but make up, that they're doing it, if they say that they do it out of love for you, those are some red flags. Let me see here. So I would say comments, if they monitor how you eat or what you should wear, what you need to look like, if they get very jealous of you, if they start to um, accuse you of things like cheating on them or being with someone, all of these things are behaviors that are red flags. Let me know, you all, if I've missed any too. All right. Yes. I have questions, says maybe she didn't want all of her personal business aired out in court and scrutinized by literally everyone. Yes. Yes. She is allowed to do whatever she wants to do, especially after she wasn't all like this person did horrific things to her for so many years and controlled her, used her, and there S whenever you're driving in, that happened. Um, it's not okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Alex H. Thank you. And Melanie subscribers for the bravery and vulnerability and delicacy with which you broach these topics to bring this safe space that must be just what one person needs. Yes, one person. If one person feels safe here, then we have done our job. Thank you, Alex. It means a lot. So much. Um, oh. Oh, hot and cold behavior. Hot and cold behavior. Oh, that is a problem. Katy Perry has a song about it. Not like you need to listen to it. I don't like that she says just loves bipolar in that song. Anyways, I have a lot of reasons for that, but victim blaming, shaming someone. Um, if you start to question your sanity, or if you start to question like chains of events that they're saying it's very different, that's a red flag. Like that confusion doesn't need to exist in truly healthy relationships. Um, it's just like really, really, really. Oh, Donna. Hi, Miss Donna Marie. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Um, oh, here we go. If they talk negatively or aggressively about exes or family, important women in their lives, run, 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 run. I am still um, haunted by a comment like by a person in the past relationship that said something about their mother, about, don't you just want to hold their head down underwater? And I remember being like, oh, that's weird. Like always giving somebody the benefit of the doubt. And then now, hindsight's 2020, you start to remember those things, and they can be very subtle and you don't think much of it, but just something like that is oddities are a big thing. But talking negative, if they're saying that their ex is crazy, run. I mean, look, some people do have crazy exes. Like I'm not saying that that isn't real. However, if they say this, Also, if you do date somebody who's been married before, I mean, if you're in a relationship where it's a man and a woman, and the man tells you, it's really important to ask whether he filed for divorce or if his ex-wife filed for divorce because genu generally, it takes women will endure so much until they pull the trigger to divorce. So if a woman has filed for divorce, more than likely it's because she was pushed to the brink and probably went years beyond, um, you know, that she beyond when she needed to. Um, so I just want to point that out. So if a man says, "Oh, my ex-wife, because she's crazy, she filed for divorce," you need to be like, I would inquire a lot more about that. Definitely. Okay. Yeah, it says right here, it can be so hard to see it. Oh, Melanie's saying that in response to Lana Day is my living religion. It can be so hard to see it when you were so young and it becomes your normal. It's absolutely. It can be just like very, very subtle. Um, let's see. I wish I knew what her Can you tell me a little bit more about what your question is? When I say essay, that is talking about, when I say driving, okay, I gotta be careful with this. Um, Sometimes when you're driving, you often drive in traffic, and that was what happened to her. She was a young person who was essentially allegedly trafficked, her body was, because she was forced to have intercourse with people who she didn't want to and was filmed and all of those. So that's what I mean by that. Um, yes, yes, that's what I meant. Traffic, driving, and I didn't want to put it in with the S word. Um, no, she was not assaulted in a car. Sorry. I was just trying to not use the words together of S and then trafficking because that's part of this is of the big part of this claim is that that is what he was doing to her, essentially. Yeah. Thank you, Melanie, and I'm glad that you know now. Yeah, I have to be because that's what it is. And she talked about, uh, slavery, this trafficking. It was like she was just used. They had no love, no care for her. I mean, I think she was just groomed and used, for her body and to be subjected, objectified, and 50 Cent has spoken out for a very long time about P. Diddy. He has been shameless about he doesn't care. He doesn't like he's like he always says that he thinks he's a weirdo, which I find like a really funny statement to say about someone like peculiar, like they're a weirdo. So allegedly he said that he got the pictures of her, seeing actual penetration were sent to him of her by other people. So um, this is what I mean, could you imagine Cassie, like what she's gone, the humiliation, to be used like that, and just she's like really talking about how it was just this drug fueled lifestyle that he pretty much forced her into. Okay. Alex has a question. How do we help normalize coming forward? The jump from knowing you need to do something from actually feeling able to. Um, I don't know. Um, Thank you, Alex, for saying she goes, "It's so hard. Normal is such a wrong word because it is not normal or okay, but empowering and being an ally." This one is a tough one because uh, yeah, I don't wanna get myself into hot water. A little bit about what I wanna say. Um, I think that there's issues with these slogans that are out there that are like, "Believe all women," and I'm very supportive of women. I hope you will think that and believe that of me. And at the same time, I'm very well aware of some that have, uh, used these claims to harm other people's lives. Look, it doesn't matter what gender you are, there is a level that, there are areas in every profession, in every situation, there's always people that are not good, that are not, reliable, and it's hard because sometimes we just focus on those people, and then women and people that are victims of SA won't come forward. So, I don't like those, like, slogans of "believe everyone," but I do think that we need to make people feel like it's okay to come forward, especially if you don't have the resources, and I feel like the resources out there to come forward aren't advertised enough. I mean, did a lot of people know about my sister's place today? Probably not. Um, and the help that you wanna get, one of my an amazing, um, show, Big Little Lies. Right? Not Pretty Little Lies. Big Little Lies was on HBO. It is this type of like what Cassie was in, and I think that it did a beautiful job of showing the ins and outs. It's the first time in a series, in a TV or film series, where I actually felt like they depicted a therapist in the correct way, a correct way that I just got chills. Um, the way that a therapist should intervene and support victims, and it's a good I want you all to watch that. I encourage you to watch that series on HBO if you can, because it really does help to know what you should be, um, how you should be taken care of, because there are therapists out there that don't do their jobs, and they don't do a good job. And if any of this is happening to you and you're under the age of 18, therapists are mandated reporters. They are supposed to report this, period. Any harm that's going on in a home, they have a duty. They will usually work with you so that it doesn't put your life in danger, but, check that out. Um, and so being an ally and empowering them is to support them in whatever decision they choose to go forth in. If they choose to stay because it'd be unsafe to leave, they could lose their life. I mean, it's people's lives at risk. If it is just being there for them. I know of a friend th- whose friend actually took notice of some of the behaviors that she was describing in her marriage, and she was like, "I'm going to give you a key to my place because I just think that you need to have that key." And then I remember the friend being like, Why would I need this? Like, you're blowing this out of proportion. You're like exaggerating my situation." And lo and behold, not even a year later, she needed to use that key. So that is how you be an ally, but trying to come in a non-judgmental space and just validate their words, because you do not want to shame them for not leaving, or you don't want to minimize what they're going on, because I guarantee you that whatever's going on in their life is probably 20 times worse. We don't always share it, and if they have the courage to share it, it's probably a lot worse. And don't go making their life even more unsafe by talking to other people in a negative way. Yes, Nicole Kidman. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have questions. That accusation really can destroy someone's life. It's even if it's false. You're not proven innocent in court. You're just found not guilty, proving the court of public opinion. Yes, you're absolutely right, and that's why. Um, I don't like to make blanket statements, but it's rare. Not many do it. Thank you. Do that in the grand scheme of things. True. My friends would make fun of me for my relationship, but I was just too scared to ever leave. Okay, fuck your phone. I can't cuss on here. My rage, my anger, making fun of someone. Like, I understand. I've been a friend to people who have gone through these things, and it can be frustrating because 'cause you're like, "Can't you see? Like, just leave." It's just not simple. Nothing in life is. It's so complex. There's so many ins and outs of this that are, problematic, and you just never know the fear that's, like, so embedded in you. You never know how someone's gonna react whenever you do try to leave. Um and you need to only go when you feel safe to go. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Red flags. We went through those. Um, let's see. So, any other question? Oh, Melanie, thank you for my book. I will tell you all the themes we are talking about right now to some degree. I almost have my second book done. My first book, I will say, was Hey Addiction, Thanks for Nothing, How to Love an Addict Without Losing Your Mind. And the second book is like the raw, real, um, not being believed, dealing with things like this, disbelief that this is going on, and unsure of how to move forward. Okay. So let's see. Alex H. I had a friend who asked me for money for an appointment because abusive partner drained accounts. Yep. And I brought also cranberry juice, and that made her think he would never do it, but her friend would. I mean, that is, yeah, it's finding separate bank accounts, a way to store money, to move money, sell things without them realizing it. And yeah, that's the thing, that manipulation that they do this. It's horrible. I'm telling you all, my goal, my dream, I put some dreams out there. I've talked about this on my channel, but a big, big dream of mine, I can feel, ooh, got chills, is that if and when, I'll speak it as if, because you know I believe in manifesting, when I come into my money, when I am out of the hole from this ongoing divorce, I want to set up an organization, and it'll be different than my sister's place. I want it to be where people like this can be protected and be given money without it having to be paid back. They will be gifts in order to help them get out. And I know it's like just like how, people will be like angel investors where they anonymously give money. It would be like the same thing, but it would be specifically for women that are trying to get out of these type of relationships and fear that they're not going to survive, you know? Um, because unfortunately in this world, money does bring power. And if I could have some of that so that I could help people, I know that's how I would use it for sure. Okay. Mm. Oh, Alex. Beautiful. She told me 10 years later that was a big turning point for her. So glad, but so incredible what the smallest thing can do. That's right. Those small, small gifts of that you don't even realize how much people need it. Sometimes, and it isn't questioning them. It isn't getting in anybody's business. It's just being like, hearing about the friend that was just the key was just like, just so you have it. That's it. Just so you have it. And just the small things. If you buy the groceries for the house and can't access cash, buy gift cards while you're at the store. Just a tip. Thank you for that tip. Um, that's such a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, there's so many different ways. I'll start compiling a list. I'll start working on that, and we could do another live where I can share some of these tips. So email me or send me a message if you've got more of these. So I have questions. Do you have any more of these tips that you can provide as well? Um, different ways that you can secure money. It'd be important. Okay. Okay. So, oh, Seamus, you are a legend. Here we go. Oh, thank you so much. I not a legend. I like that term though. But man, if I can make it happen, I am going to. Tips would be great. Yes. Thank you, Seamus and Melanie. Um, also, if you have a vehicle, check your car. Uh, uh, usually, people in these type of situations, they are being tracked all the time. Change your passwords. How to go through that. Change your passwords, even if you don't think that you need to. You need to check your car for the little like the GPS tracking, turn off your location, all of those type of things because that's um a lot of ways that they use the control and try to catch you in lies and be like, "Oh, were you at this place?" You know? Um, if you have an easy pass, remember that throwing it under the seat. A friend let me know this yesterday. Hi to my friend. I think she's watching. Um, you do not throw your GPS under the seat. They can still click you or clock you for it, and then, the person can get the information about, like, the tolls and where you were, where you passed through. You have to put it in that silver packet that they send you, I believe, so that they can't pick up on it, okay? Uh, I've been wondering how always knows where I am, but he denies tracking me. Yeah, he's tracking you for sure, even when you don't. I yeah, there's been friends that have been like, "That's happening," and because, like, things don't make sense where you're like, "How does this person know where I was or what I was doing?" And, um, yeah, changing your password is so important. I was talking with my sister, the only supportive person in my life, about the situation, and he was looking through my phone and found messages. Yeah, that was the whole thing with Cassie, with Kid Cudi, is that he got her phone and her email, and he found out that they were messaging each other, and then he said, "I'm gonna blow up his car," and he blew up his car. I mean, so scary. Yeah, here we go. Apple AirTags are great for identifying AirTags that have been placed in, around, on your person or children. Oh, wait a second. I don't know much about this. I feel like I just learned about these Apple AirTags. So are these what like a friend of mine put some kind of tag on her car because she can never remember where she parks? Is that what you're talking about? So they'll put it on you? Yeah, check your windows, check everything. Things hidden. It's scary, but I'm always hearing something. Oh, wait, okay. If the air tag is not programmed to you, it will sound an alarm if nearby ones are detected. So does that mean that you can try to detect if there's some in your home? Is that what you're saying? Oh my gosh. Krista Ellis, thank you for this. We need more of these. It's coming to you. Sacred effing rage. I am honoring because I just can't keep stomping on a cardboard box, pizza box, or, um, just getting, like, enraged. It's like I have to do something about this, and talking about it, I think, is, realizing I'm like, "Oh, wait, I have a platform. I have a good amount of subscribers. Maybe people will join and listen to what I have to say, I guess." Okay. Apple will send notification if AirTag is following you. That's what she's saying. Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying that because I didn't know. Um, it can be wherever. Yes. It can be placed on your car anywhere. Ugh. Check your phone for track my friend and family. Thank you, Margarita. Thank you. You always have the good little tidbits. Okay. You can disable them by removing battery. Awesome. Wait, what if they find out that you remove the battery? Does anybody know? I got one just so I could know if someone dropped one on me. Oh my gosh, I need to do this. Ugh, I'm getting a little freaked out. I like got some chills because it's man, this is why we have to have conversations about this because even I'm learning new things. It's like they make shoes with air tags. See, this is what's crazy is that I just recently looked into this for my son. Um, you all might know I mentioned that and look, a lot of people had a lot of feelings about how I say this. I usually say that he's on the spectrum. Some people are saying that I need to refer to him as autistic. It's like I am learning, but he has had issues with elopement, and so that's something that's associated with being on the spectrum. Sometimes in children, where he doesn't understand risk and he will run away and not listen and not come back. You know, a lot of kids can be like that. But so we were I was looking into getting something on his shoe or wearing something around his wrist, but he wouldn't like it because it's sensory, like it'd be uncomfortable for him. So that's how I know about this information. And I never thought like that it could be used to track like if somebody got you new shoes and would make comments if you left the house and they were like, "Why aren't you wearing those shoes?" But they were tracking you. That's wild, awful. Kids' shoes, it's nuts. Everything that can be used for good can be used for bad. No good deed goes unpunished has been something I'm like constantly saying. Thank you. Yes, Melanie, right. Um, if you take the battery out, they'll know the last location. Okay, well, so that's good to know. So they'll just know the last place that you were, and hopefully you're not in that location anymore. Um, but they won't know that you actually took the battery out of them. Okay. All right. So much. Melanie, this is making me think about you when you had me on for the LISK, the LISK, the Long Island serial killer, and all of, I mean, just all of the places that he owned. It's just baffling, like just a way for him to conceal things. So too, you're like, wow, there's so much going on. It's scary. Um, second. Oh, good. Making you feel heard. You should feel heard. You're important. If someone is trying to leave, make sure you grab birth certificates, bills, bank statements, passports. You need to arrange your finances. That is a huge, huge, huge part of this. Thank you for sharing that. Grab your birth certificates and bills and just have access to all of those things, some type of proof. I don't I'm always wondering like, okay, so if they, make you financially dependent on them, like how do you start to separate yourself? Like what do you like how do you get off of like should you be on bank statements? Should you be off of them? Like because a lot of times everything's in their name. Okay. All right. I've got a few more minutes. Oh yes, Melanie. Take pictures of all important documents and save them in a file on your phone. I email everything to myself. I have a secret email, but it's like I have lots of different email accounts, but because I have my therapy, I've got this and I have personal and then another one. and another one, and I just think that sending those type of things to an email if you need to get it off of your phone, but if you to hide it is important, but also keeping it on your phone is. Um, don't leave anything with your social, learn the hard way. Yep. You mean your social security or you're meaning social media is what I first went to, but now I'm thinking you're saying social security. Um, okay, I guess I'm just shaking my head reading it, but I should read it out loud for people who are just listening. Um, I don't know why my parents let me live with this man. They didn't even know, but I was financially dependent on him, and I had to stay with friends when I left because my parents wouldn't let me go back. Yeah, you're like, I mean, I'm wondering the same thing about with Cassie's situation. This is so much of what went on with R. Kelly and the parents, like, believe that, their kids are in a good situation and spending time with this, famous singer, and they're lied to, and then it's just awful. Okay, Alex, you said, can you do Venmo storing? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what it is. Um, I've heard about cheaters doing this, but then again, insert your mantra. I mean, yeah, no good deed goes unpunished, right? What is Venmo storing? I don't know what that is. If you're home alone during the day and safe, do cash jobs that don't take long, like cleaning for neighbors, etc., and stash the cash. Stash it. A good place where it can never is storing it in your freezer. Anything, even your like hard drives, things like that. Always, I know in grad school, um, like our professors would tell us, like if you're doing, writing a huge paper to take your SIM card and like put it in your freezer because if like let's say a house burns down, the one thing that does remain is a freezer, and so you can recover it. I know that maybe that would get seen though if you are sharing a refrigerator with someone, but it's something to keep in mind if you can. Cash jobs, yeah, both. Social Security. Okay. They can track you on your computer. I don't know exactly what it is. Thank you, Margarita, but they can see everything you do on it. Mm, awful. Yeah, you're telling me. I don't know. Mm. Oh, store money in your Venmo. Okay, but somebody could break into that, but that is a good point, and PayPal, right? That would be good as well. Thank Alex is coming through. Yes, thank you to Alex H. Um, you're coming through, and I mean, most of almost all of you are all coming through with some like amazing things. But yeah, things I don't even think about. Um, bottom of the ice maker. That's right. Okay. Yep. Got to do that. Mm, you all, I'm so glad that we're having this conversation. This is just crazy, crazy important. I cannot talk. Phoenix Rising. Love that name. Just watched an episode of Dark Livity called Fall about a young woman who was controlled and tracked. He gave her the phone. It was totally on his laptop. Yikes. Ugh. Oh my gosh. You're not vent. I don't want to hear this. I'm just venting, laughing my ass off. I'm not helping anyone. Yes, you are by sharing and being vulnerable. Like, let's not discredit or minimize that. Being vulnerable is helping others because there are people that are watching this that are not commenting, and you are helping them by sharing it. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. PayPal can be loaded at CVS and Walmart. All right. Blessed to be here. All right, you all. I could go for a very long time, but I need to go and have order some food, get my son fed. Um, this was powerful. I look forward. I know that a lot of I'm hearing that a lot of women are coming forward about Diddy. So there's going to be way more of this. And I look forward to discussing it. And I'm glad that this is being exposed. I think that this is in a very, very important time in history. And I hope that we can continue these conversations to support each other. And um, yeah, I am like, says, gotta lighten things up, gotta make dinner for the kids. I mean, right? It's like, I gotta go back to our life. Like, that's what's so hard. It's like we need this time, we need this community, we need this time to talk together and just share. And it's so hard to work this into our schedule, but it's just completely imperative that we do it. Um, Melanie, what are you talking about? Who's playing Swiftball tonight? What's that? Um, okay. So you all, please like and subscribe. Send me good vibes this week. I have court, I have things, I am moving quickly, and it's a lot, but I'm doing it and I'm excited. So please keep me in your thoughts and send me those good vibes. Oh, okay. Melanie says it's like fantasy football, but for the Taylor Swift show. Oh my gosh, I want to get in on this. I'm so down. Okay. All right. Wishing you all the best. Thank you for the love. And I hope you all found this helpful. And I love you all dearly. Stay safe and be well. And thank you to all of those who sent me some payments. It was so nice of you. All right. Take care.